Gosh, where to start? I'm pretty new at this myself, but I mean, I absolutely love welding. There's nothing I would rather do like full time than welding, but currently I'm still doing nursing, so it's a big difference. But I'm meeting like tons of people, and I'm enjoying every step of the way.
I did see that you recently went to Fab Tech. How was that?
I don't think your podcast is long enough for that conversation. Honestly, oh my gosh, this is my second year in a row going to Fab Tech, and it's actually, I honestly think that the fab part of Fab Tech is for fabulous because I always have such a great time.
I have seen some social media posts. I have seen some of like the top influencers in welding, get to speak at these events, but walk me through it. Like, what exactly all was Fab Tech about?
So Fab Tech is actually, it's a combination of things. You're going to have the American Welding Society there. Mm-hmm. They play a huge role in it. And then you also have the fabrication people that put on the fabrication magazine. And you're going to have like all types of different people just meeting together. So it is so big that you have multiple days of either you're doing like convention wise, like lots of walking. I don't really know where to start with that because that's.
Did you get to do any welding when you're out there?
You know what? This time I chose not to do some welding. There is welding though, from like every different type of welder you can imagine. They're basically there. All the big boys are there. So you have Everlast, which is my favorite. You're going to have Miller. You're going to have Lincoln. You have ESAB. And there's a lot of smaller companies from overseas that I don't really know the names of, but there are there for like micro welding and stuff like that, which I'm not into the micro welding yet. So just that's a whole new ball game for me.
I mean, is it more just showing you like all their new products, or I mean, do people really go in there and get their hands dirty and like try out machines, try out, is there competitions?
They're actually, so the AWS did put on a competition, and I know they were doing stick welding this time. So that was really cool. I know the local lady here, I believe she's District 18. She actually won the competition for that. And she said that she's never really even stick welded.
Ooh, so it was a woman.
Yes, it was.
That is great. That is amazing to hear.
Right. I'm not sure if it was like, I didn't participate. So I'm not too sure if it was, women based only, or I'm not too sure about the competition. I just remember her taking the check later that night because you get like a check for, I believe it was $250. And she's like, look what I won today. And I was like, man, if I knew that, like I would have participated. I would have paid for some of my Ubers, But they had it really set up well in Chicago. Atlanta was a little different, but Chicago had you going from like the hotel, they bus you to the convention center, walked around like all day. You're just totally exhausted. And then you actually have, it's just jam packed every day. You have events after the convention's actually over also.
That's great. And did you get a network with a lot of different welders?
Yes, actually networking is fantastic. I would highly recommend anybody that's interested in networking to participate in something like Fab Tech. Next year, it's going to be in Orlando around mid-October. And it's fantastic. You meet all the top welders that are on social media, have huge influences. You usually see the Netflix people that are there from, what was that show that just came out a couple of years ago? I can't think of the name, but it has to do with welding. It's amazing. So you're
I'll have to check that out. Yeah, you'll have to DM me later. I'm all about it.
I'm waiting for the second season. So I'm just like, man, I want to meet like more welders because I just think they're just amazing at what they can do. But that particular group is just like the art style, and that's where I'm leaning towards is doing like more creative things with my welding.
Yeah, recently I just saw you just got back from a trip doing some artwork.
Yeah, that's actually a public art piece that's going to be here in El Paso, Texas, which is we're on the border over here of Mexico. And it is a beautiful project done by Ray King. He's up in New Jersey. So I flew up there for the month of July. And You get paid by the city of El Paso to participate as an assistant. And you just have to make your way up there. Like however you can make your way up there, that's great. They pay you as soon as you get there, as far as time and stuff. And it's a public art piece. I just can't wait until it's installed. When I was up in New Jersey, you didn't really have time to. I did all the prefabricating stuff, so it's a mixed media project. It's going to be dichroic glass and stainless steel. So
I'm excited to see it.
Oh, it's gorgeous. I'm excited to see like how big it actually is.
Did you post any teasers of it?
No, not too many. I mean, I did post like the original, like the plan for it, but it's not, since it was just the plan when I had gone up, I did post like a couple of things that I worked on. Like my first whole week was just cleaning glass and like the production of the glass making. So it was a lot different than just welding. I didn't really touch on welding too much, unfortunately, but they're on their way. They're making it. I couldn't stay that long. I had to get home. I stayed 20 days or so. But great experience. I'm so glad that my city has had this opportunity for me to check it out.
I am excited to see the post on it. Yeah, mixed medias and art are such a cool concept because you're taking a bunch of different, processes and putting them all together to make this art piece. And, it speaks volume. So I can't wait to see it.
It really does. I'm trying to still find my art voice. That's what it was called when I was up there. So Debbie King is Ray's wife, and she actually was just like, you need to find it. You need to see where you want to go with what your heart's telling you, and just go, just take it. So I've been a little hesitant because I really do want to do like mixed media, definitely metal. I'm in love with the welding processes. So I'm just not sure where I'm going to go yet. So I have a couple of projects that I need to get done before the new year. So I'm looking forward to that.
Is there any other trades that you're wanting to pick up to make all the media come together as one? I mean, I don't know how to say it properly, but you know what I'm trying to say?
Oh, no, I totally got you. Yes, actually, there is. So as far as glass, I can't make the dichroic glass here. It is a very expensive process. However, I did love playing with the glass. And I'm thinking about, like in my mind, I have this really awesome like idea for what I really want to do. And it's basically like a set of ribs, but with metal, using like just steel. I just want to weld some steel together and make a set of like a rib cage. And then in the inside, I want to make a glass heart. And I'm not sure how this is going to happen, but it sounds so amazing in my head.
It does. Yeah, I can just envision it.
Yeah, it's more on the stainless. Not stainless, sorry. It's more on the stained glass aspect rather than the dichroic film glass. And but it's different. It's just a different media.
I just got what is it called? Like when somebody suggests a follower, and she is a florist, but for glass. Like she makes all these little glass flowers. Oh, wow. And I know you used to be, a florist in your past background. I have to send her to you. Yeah. Her name is at the glass florist _
Oh, that sounds great. Yeah, stainless glass is amazing to work with. I worked with it about 20 years, the same time that I was doing the florist, but I absolutely love flowers. So, I mean, I know somewhere down the line that's also going to be one of my mixed media projects. There's just almost too much that it's overwhelming right now. So, just trying to narrow it in right now and just do exactly what I need to get done that has timelines.
Yeah, I mean, welding alone has a huge learning curve. What's your favorite process?
Gosh, I don't know if I have one yet. It's definitely not stick. I mean, I love stick as far as like, I just want to melt metal together, but I don't want to do anything with it. Um, that's all I would use stick for, honestly, for myself. But when I was doing another internship a year ago in the summer at an artist place in Dallas, I didn't use the machine he gave me. It was a stick one, and it was only stick. And I'm like, what the hell am I going to do with this? You know?
So are you more of like a wire feed MIG, or do you like TIG? What is your preferred process?
I prefer. So I actually love doing TIG. However, am I great at it? No, not yet. Not by far. And MIG, I kind of just picked up on my own. So I set up my machine for MIG first. I have an Everlast. I think it's 275. And I didn't know what I was doing. I just set it up. And it was MIG first. So I was like, okay, I'll just do MIG, you know? And I entered a competition, and it was for, you had to make a spider. And I was just like, okay, like I just set up my machine. I don't know what I'm doing yet. And I'll use a process I've never actually used before, which was MIG. So I actually ended up winning first. So I was like, well, that's fantastic, you know? So yeah, right now it's MIG. MIG is my favorite because I know how to use it. I will get to TIG. I've been buying all the stuff for it. So before the end of the year, I will be doing TIG also.
Okay, so you mentioned you had an Everlast. Tell me more about your machine. Which processes does it do? Have you tried different machines before? Yeah, I want to hear all about it.
All right. So that's a common question. People are always asking you, like, hey, what do you use? What's best to use? I'm not a professional, but I didn't want some generic machine. I wanted a professional machine. And Everlast is actually a really good multi-process machine. I have a Lightning. It's called a Lightning MTS 275. And it does TIG, MIG, and stick. Oh, also flux core. But I've never used flux core before, so I'm trying to stay away from that one. But Everlast, I picked them. I went to FabTech 2022, and that's when I was there just specifically to buy a machine. I tried out everything. I tried out the Miller. Miller's great, actually. They're all pretty good. I tried out the Lincoln, fantastic. Fronius was there. I love Fronius. I'm not sure if I love Fronius just because it's so expensive and it just welds like, I don't know, amazing. So I don't know if it's just because it's expensive and I like it. It's definitely European, so I don't know too much about it other than I did like it. And then ESOB. ESOB wasn't there that year, but I had used ESOB prior to going to FabTech. They did have it this year. I also used some of the smaller guys. I believe CK makes a welding machine, and I did weld on there. I'm trying to think of who else was there, but I ended up falling in love with Everlast. The customer service is excellent. I can call them and get an answer by a real human. I don't have to usually wait that long unless it's like an email process. But I loved it. I've had it set up since about March this year. And yeah, I'm going.
Nice. So you work with gases for your MIG and TIG?
Yes, I do work with gases. So I'm actually working with a local company over here, and I get to rent my tanks because I didn't want to buy them. Being new to this, I wasn't sure, like, how often am I going to do it? How fast are these gases going to go out, you know? So I do, for the TIG, I do have an argon. And then for the other one, I have my compressed gas, which is a combination. So it's going to be the 75% argon and 25% carbon dioxide. And so far, I love it. I mean, the gas price went up, but I think I pay maybe $26 a month or so for both of my tanks. Yeah, so to me, it's affordable. I mean, it's well within economical means for a hobby at the moment.
I love that your company, your local company, gave you the option to rent the tanks. Yeah, that sounds doable. $26 a month, and you could do what you love. All right.
I mean, it's like as cheap as a gym membership. So why not? I really don't use my machines as often as I would like to, just because of nursing, being a mother, a wife, just life really gets in the way, but it's really nice to have an area specifically just for that.
Yeah. So are you working out of your garage, or do you have like a tool shed? How does it work?
This is how it works. My husband needs to move his car. But we have a 2-car garage in the front. So I have my 220 cord that I got put in. Of course, that was something I had to wait on because the electrician, sometimes you have to get permits and stuff like that. So just right out of the garage, I just open the garage doors and have fun.
Tools. Tell me about your tools.
Tools. Oh my goodness. Where to start with that? You know how most girls love like shoes and like bags and clothes.
Mm-hmm.
I love tools. I love tools. It doesn't matter like what kind of tool. Like my husband will buy something. I'm like, okay, I'm taking that. So as far as getting started in like my garage with all my welding stuff, I bought my welder, of course. That was my first purchase. But since it was so affordable, I bought my plasma cutter. And it's also an Everlast. So I haven't turned it on yet, but I finally got it out of the box. So with the plasma cutter, you had to buy the air compressor. So I was like, all right. So I bought the air compressor. And not knowing better, I didn't realize you need to buy air compressor hose because it doesn't come with it. I said, what the heck? So when I bought my smaller air compressor, it came with the hose, but the bigger you go, the less stuff it comes with and the more expensive it gets. But, I mean, as far as other real big tools, you have to have your welding table. I just got a cheap one over there it's not really cheap. I'd just say affordable one over there at Northern Tools. They're great guys over here. So right off the freeway, I just went over there, picked it up, and then brought it home. I also have my Makata chop saw. That's awesome. I bought that secondhand.
How about safety? What is your PPE preferred?
My preferred, definitely, I'm always worried about my lungs and want to make sure that I keep those clean because I don't want to hurt myself. I have to have my safety goggles and my safety gloves. And actually, I was just sent some arm sleeves, which is cool because it gets really hot in the garage. So I won't have to wear my whole big shirt and stuff to get stuff done. So I do plan on getting an apron pretty soon, just so that when I'm grinding or if I'm using the chop saw, that I'm not getting burnt on it.
I love leathers for stick. Stick is the only one where I feel like I need to wear leathers for.
So right now I don't have a leather jacket, but I would totally agree with that. Stick is messy, and that's probably why I don't like it. Yeah.
The slag.
I absolutely love doing stick. It's not my preferred just because it is so messy for the home use that you would have to be, honestly, I think you should use it outside. So Meg and Tig are a lot cleaner. Pretty soon on my shopping list, I need to buy one of those welding curtains.
Yeah, that's one thing I want to practice on is my TIG. Definitely a cleaner process. Your metals have to be clean. Your gloves have to be clean. Like your work area has to be clean. But yeah, I know it's a cleaner process for sure compared to, even MIG and stick. But yeah. Oh yeah, so I did try plasma cutting for the first time. I know we kind of talked about gases and, oxyacetylene fuel. And I did try plasma cutting and I love it.
Yeah.
I feel like it gives me cleaner lines and I can glide smoother through the metal.
It really seems like that way. I love the oxyacetylene mix. Also, I don't have that set up at home yet, but I will be working on that in the future. You kind of need both, in my opinion.
Of
So
course.
I'm just trying to get my feet wet right now. It's like, let me just go ahead and start with basics and work my way up there. So definitely by this time next year, I better have my other one. It's like
I'll love to see it. I'll love to see it, girl.
thanks.
So are you looking to maybe eventually one day start your own business?
So honestly, I can't see myself being a nurse forever. I love nursing, but I love welding a lot more. I mean, sorry to say, but I mean, I love my patients. I've had amazing patients, but you know what? You only live once. You might as well make yourself happy.
Yeah, I totally agree. Welding definitely took my heart when I first started.
We're in a new generation. You know, we're having females start at like a younger age, and you know, high school is doing like really amazing things. Like we need to encourage that a lot more.
Yes, I 100% agree, which is why I love starting this podcast and the vision I have for it of supporting women in trades and men in trades, but just creating that community. I feel like that's very important for, like-minded people to come together and just support each other.
You know, speaking of like-minded people, that's really what FabTech is all about. Just love it. Like you go, you meet people that have the same interest in you. Here in my local city, we don't have that. I mean, we have our AWS, but it is tiny considering how big the population is. So welding's just not here yet. So let's see where it goes, you know?
Oh, yeah. Have you met with your local AWS?
So I attended one meeting, and out of 100 people, I think they only had like 10 there. As far as AWS, I don't really fit into any of the categories. I'm no longer a student, so I don't have student registration I can apply for. I don't own a business, you know, so I'm not sure where exactly I fit in yet with them. I told them I am totally open to volunteering my time. I love to volunteer. So that's a good thing, you know. They're really friendly. I wouldn't mind joining. It's just at this very second, I don't know where I fit yet.
Well, then that will go great with my next question. How do you feel like you have grown personally from welding?
Oh gosh, that's a good question. Well, let's see. How have I grown? I think I'm just more confident. Really, overall, I feel like I can do anything. I'm still looking for my artist voice, but it's like going into something that is totally foreign to me and meeting people that are totally 100% supportive so far, you know, of my choices and willing to help. That's what's good about like Instagram and like social media is like that. You can find people nowadays and be like, hey, can you help me on this? And I don't know if it's just specifically being a female, but everybody always wants to help you. I guess I'm like that damsel in distress right now. But definitely, like, I feel like I can do it. I just need to get it done now. That's the part now is getting it done.
Well, what do you feel like some of the biggest learning lessons or some of the biggest learning experiences you've, gone through with welding?
Learning how to operate your machine. I think that's like the number one thing that you should probably be taught in school. And when I went to school, it was not like I don't know how to say it. It's a real school. However, they specialized in pipe welding, and I only wanted to learn MIG and TIG. So they didn't have a program for me. So I was only there for a month. The program that they had set up was only 6 weeks, but I ended up finding out that for me to grow, I need to expand my own horizons. You know, you can't have anybody holding your hand the whole time. So I did that through social media, actually.
So you went to your program for 1 month. I also saw that you did some underwater like scuba diving. Did you do welding with that as well?
So that's actually underwater diving. And yeah, actually out in Houston, you have Ocean Corp. And Ocean Corp is amazing. They actually produce like some of the only welders in America specifically for underwater welding. They also have other programs there that are amazing. So they actually have several times a year you can get an opportunity to go out and actually try that as they usually post it on like Instagram and I'm sure other social media. But you just reach out to them and be like, hey, I'm interested in doing this. Like, what's it about? If you're a teacher, they usually have like a teacher in the trades. They usually do have seminars that you could go down and actually try it yourself. So that's something people need to look into if they're interested in at least trying it, so that they can educate younger students on, hey, this is out there. If you want to make like tons of money, that's the route you want to go, then here, this is the way to do it.
Underwater diving Ocean Corps. Yes, I will definitely look into that. And what do you get, like a certification, or is it like, hey, try this for one day? Is it a couple days?
So it depends on the seminar that you take. It could be a day or it could be 2 days. They did have a female in welding one this year. I couldn't attend, but I believe it was in May, and that was a 2-day event. And they actually have like competitions that you can join. And they're very big into promoting females in welding. So they do have that. It's basically open for any female in welding. And then they also have the teacher ones if you want to go that route.
That is awesome to hear that out there. I feel like you're really connected in the welding world. I mean, you got Fab Tech. I mean, you went to your 1-month program, the underwater diving, your internships. It really shows that you are all about welding. It is so cool to see you out there and you put yourself out there. I mean, is there anything else that I'm missing more that you've done that you would like to kind of highlight?
I don't know. I think I'm going around it like kind of backwards. I went and met tons of amazing people, and now I'm just trying to fill my own shoes, really. So, but basically, get on social media. Find your outlet. Open yourself up to new experiences. Amazing people that I didn't even know were like famous in the welding world, but it was all because I'm pretty crazy about welding.
People in the welding industry love to see other people who are passionate about the same thing. So, I mean, you reached out to me and here we are.
Yeah, I can't help it. I'm just like really friendly. I don't know. I love to talk to people.
I love it.
And I love when people are just as passionate as I am about anything, really. So welding it is right now, and I can't get enough of it.
Yeah. I mean, do you have any advice for anyone that is speculating and wants to get into welding? Like, what is one piece of advice you would tell them?
Do it. You need to try it. If you don't try it, you're just never going to know. How you know something's for you if you just never try it. The first moment I tried it, I loved it. And then it just took a while to actually get the wheels going, So definitely try it.
Jenny, how could our listeners find you on social media?
So you can find me on social media on Instagram. My handle is El Chuco Sweetheart. And yeah, I'm
you might have to spell that for anybody. Them.
ELCHUCO and then Sweetheart.
That concludes our first episode, Kanaka, a nurse who found her passion in welding. If you enjoy blue collar work and want to hear more about the people in the industry, follow this podcast. And don't forget to leave a rating if you enjoyed our first episode. Follow our social medias at Kanaka of All Trades and at Wailana Welds. Until next time, mahalo.